Hi everyone, welcome to Beyond Labels. We're here with our Nikki, who all know, and with Sam as our guest speaker from REBOUND WA. All right, he's gonna talk about what they do and give us a lot of information so we can contact them and get the ball rolling to get in touch with REBOUND. Hi Sam.
Hi.
How are you?
Yeah, good. Very excited to be here and to have a chat and just talk about what Rebound do.
Thank you for being here. You are the Marketing and Communications Officer for Rebound.
Yeah.
Yeah? All right. So tell us about what Rebound is. Make it sound like we don't know anything so people listening and watching can learn about Rebound.
Yeah, so Rebound WA are a charity based here in WA that connect people with a physical disability with sport and recreation opportunities. So we run programs for all ages to really engage and show all people with a physical disability that sport is an option and you can really engage and participate and live an active life.
All right. So it's only for people with disabilities?
So a lot of our programs run with, so the primary target is people with a physical disability. Intellectual disabilities is more the Special Olympics run a lot of programs for that side of things. But yeah, so we work with physical disabilities and a lot of our programs also engage able-bodied people, so people who are friends with the person with a physical disability, or our junior programs are really good because they link in with siblings and parents can jump in the chairs and join in with all different types of sports.
What are the programs or what are the sports that they can find?
So basically most sports you can think of have an adaptation that then makes it possible to do. In WA, what Rebound WA really do is a lot of wheelchair sports, and then we're also currently running a program with the Department of Local Government, Sports and Cultural Industries to really find and connect people with a low-level physical disability who are ambulatory to participate in sport and run some programs in that. As we found quite often they are able to participate in able-bodied sport up to a degree and then get left behind, whereas actually they'd be able to participate in some adaptive programs that really just allows you to live that active life.
All right. So there's sports like basketball, wheelchair basketball?
Yeah, so wheelchair basketball and wheelchair rugby, there's wheelchair fencing, there's para-table tennis, badminton, football, most sports you could think of. Archery is quite a big one, bowls. There's a sport called boccia, which is for a lot more complex needs, which is similar to bowls but with adaptations. So many different sports, so many different opportunities to really engage with.
And where does it happen? Is there a certain place where you do it, or are there many different areas?
So in the future, we would really love to have a hub for para sports. Unfortunately, we don't at the moment. So we're based in Mirrabooka.
Right.
So we have a lot of activities that run in Mirrabooka, and then we also have a lot of programs that run south of the river, thanks to a lot of support from Murdoch University. So
right.
Yeah, so we have equipment stored at Murdoch University, and we run both our young kids program called Whiz Kids, and then our teens and young adults program called Spinners. Both have Murdoch, both run out of Murdoch, and then Whiz Kids also runs in Mirrabooka.
Right.
All right.
Okay.
Mirrabooka, where exactly?
So the Herb Graham Rec Centre. So it's just next to the shops. Yeah.
What days is the program running there?
So Whiz Kids runs on Saturday mornings, So it's in Murdoch earlier in the morning, and then Mirrabooka over lunchtime roughly. And then Spinners runs on a Friday night. We have State League basketball that we run, which runs on Monday nights in Mirrabooka. And then wheelchair rugby runs on a Wednesday night.
All right. And besides the age of the groups, what's the difference between
Whiz Kids and Spinners?
Yeah.
So Whiz Kids is really introductory. So we've got some really small chairs, and it's basically for kids aged from 4 to teenage years. And you really engage in lots of different sports and have some fun. We never keep score. It's just all about engaging in sports and learning different sports. Siblings and parents can jump in chairs, participate and really have that connection. And we found it really, really builds like that family connection between everyone. And then Spinners is more for a social side of things. So it's more for teenage years. On a Friday night, you go, you spend some time with your friends, you participate in sport. Quite often those guys they just love wheelchair basketball. So quite often you play some wheelchair basketball, have some fun and build connections with people your own age, and it really builds on the connections that were formed in Whiz Kids. And then is that gap between then senior sport levels.
I love the idea that you allow your family and friends to jump in the chairs and have a go, because they get a look at it from the participants' point of view. You know, they being in the wheelchair and how hard it is to actually operate that and play sport at the same time. They probably find it harder than the participants do.
And it's really good because a lot of our members and a lot of people who participate in wheelchair sports aren't full-time wheelchair users. So the wheelchair itself is just a piece of equipment. It's the same in other sports that you play. And like in hockey you use a stick, and in all different sports you use different pieces of equipment, and the chair is just essentially a piece of equipment that allows you to participate in the sport. So yeah, having family jump in, it really creates that level playing field. And you can have competitions with each other, and you get to have that time to play and really develop that bond. So yeah.
That's great.
How did you do the training? Is it training as such? Because it's for someone who hasn't seen wheelchair rugby, it's hard to imagine how you going to play rugby being so physical.
Yeah, so training wise, so we work a lot with grassroots levels and building the connections, and then high level performance is run by the SSOs. Wheelchair rugby that you mentioned is a bit different in that the sport itself is so different from rugby that we're actually the SSO for wheelchair rugby in WA. So we run training programs on a Monday, a Wednesday and a Friday. So Wednesday night's normally games, and then Monday and Friday. And you come in and you just work on your chair skills, have some collisions, and just, it runs like a normal training system to any other sports. You'll come in, you'll do some drills, and then you practice with a bit of a scratch match and just train against each other.
Okay.
So all like these sports I've heard you talk about are team sports. Do you do any individual like athletics or swimming or anything like that?
Yeah, so as I previously mentioned, the SSOs normally tend to take over to a level. So we are a bit of a filter, so a lot of people come to us and tell us what sports they're interested in. Athletics and swimming is such a huge part. There's so many people. The Paralympics are coming up, and athletics and swimming is a huge part of that as well, just like the Olympics. So with athletics, it's really interesting. There's both in the chair options and ambulatory options for most of the different activities. So you'll have races in the chairs. You get specially designed chairs called track chairs, which are a bit different. And then there's also something new, relatively new, that's a program for young kids at the moment called frame running. So we have lots of frames where it's a bit like a support bike, but you run. So you use your legs and you can have that support and the guidance and stuff, but you use legs to really propel yourself forward. So that's athletics has so many different options.
How do you you have the Westgates and the teens program, but if there's someone with the potential or wanting to compete, how do you prepare? Do you have a program? Do you send them somewhere? How does it work?
So a lot of high-level stuff happens at WACE, so the WA Institute of Sport. So they've really expanded and have lots of para options for all the sports. So quite often our high-level players who are aspiring to be in the rollers and the steelers and stuff, will attend WACE and train at WACE and do all this extra stuff that we're not necessarily involved in. But they also have the support and stuff from us and come and participate in our programs and things and stay involved and stay connected. It's really about having a community and being a part of a club, in essence.
And I guess also share their knowledge, and actually give back to the community.
Yeah, big time.
Yeah, especially as it's a charity-run organisation.
Yeah.
You need those high-level players to actually come and help.
Yeah, so we get loads of people helping out. We've got a badminton program running where we'll have a couple of guys who have been to Com Games and previous Paralympics and stuff will come down and help out and teach the young kids and really engage with the different sports. So we get lots of support from members in the pack, so from members who have gone on and achieved these amazing things, and really give back to that grassroots level and the community that we're trying to build at Rebound.
Right, okay.
So how many members or how many participants do you have currently around?
So we have a lot. I don't know the quantifiable amount. We have on a Monday night at basketball, we have about 9 teams compete.
Wow.
So we have A grade, which has 4 teams, and then B grade, which has 5 teams in it, and then rugby, there'll be around 20 participants roughly, just base numbers, and then a whole heap of other members that are off doing other things, other sports, but are still part of the Rebound WA community, so it's hard to put a specific number on it, but yeah, quite a lot. Yeah.
So here you are in Mirrabooka in the centre, and down south, where are you? Where people can go and find you?
So we only have the one office, so in Mirrabooka is the office, but our participation south of the river for our junior programs is at Murdoch. All the different sports and stuff have different venues, essentially. We would love to have a bit of a communal area where we can have lots of sports operating out of there in a bit of a central location, but unfortunately that's not the case here in WA at the moment. It's something we'd love to have in the future, and it's something we're really working towards. That's our aim down the line, is to have a real hub, a real centre for parasport. But yeah, so all the different sports are based in all different places, and also with different requirements. So like kayaking and all of those kind of sports have to be around places where you can kayak. And yeah.
So if somebody wanted to sign up with Rebound, they would jump online. Is that the best way to do it?
Yeah, so on our website there's a membership form. Membership for Rebound WA is completely free. And yeah, you sign up, and as a member you get access to all of our knowledge, basically. We have dedicated people who work in sport, and we'll have a meeting, connect you with whatever sports you need, so you don't have to go out and do all that research yourself. We also have equipment that can be rented for more recreation things, and that's for members, and we keep the fees really, really low on those. And yeah, so just for a membership to join, it's just online, or quite often we'll visit the hospitals and give people the information there.
Okay. So it's completely free. So they join, membership's free, and then when they come and play, it's free of charge, or is there a cost for playing?
So we try and keep it extremely minimal cost. Obviously, operational costs for sports. So for wheelchair basketball, I think it's $5 a week to play, with a very small seasonal registration fee at the start. And then if you want to use one of our chairs for the games, it's an extra $5. So for a lot of people, it's $10 a week to play, because you have specialised sports chairs, as opposed to your day chair, which has a slight curve in the wheels, and you play sport in it, and it's got more turning and stuff, but isn't very good for daily life. It's a bit wider and things.
Right.
So yeah, try and keep the fees really low.
Okay.
Yeah, and the hiring of the wheelchair. So they are sport wheelchairs. So people just hire them to go and play elsewhere, or
so our
What's the main
the
reason?
equipment that we hire out mainly is recreational stuff. So we have a Hippocamp beach wheelchair, which also has off-road wheels. So one of the big challenges of using a wheelchair is the different surfaces, and going through mud and going through sand. It's a bit of a no-go.
Yeah.
So we have equipment that helps with that. The beach wheelchair, unfortunately, isn't self-propelling, so it does require someone to push. And then we also have an Omeo, which is a really cool piece of technology. It's quite big and quite bulky, but it's got Segway technology, so it's fully self-propelling, has off-road capabilities, and you control it. So you can control it using a little joystick, like similar to a power chair, to go side to side. But it's mainly lean focused. So at all times you lean forwards to go, you lean back to stop or go backwards. And then there's a mode that you can turn on where you lean side to side to move.
Okay.
So we rent that piece of equipment out, and it's really good for people who are going on like school walks, or going on hikes, going and engaging in different activities and stuff that able-bodied people can go and participate in without really thinking.
Yeah.
It really gives that different option.
so you can use it for hiking.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's a really big piece of equipment, and it's got big thick wheels on, and it can go over logs and go through the bush relatively easy.
And if someone wants to hire it, needs to be a member of Rebound?
Yep. Yeah, so you're a member of Rebound, and then we'll get you to come in and we'll arrange a time, come in, try out the equipment. We can go through it with you, teach you how to use it, and make sure you can use it safely, and then hire it out for a period of time.
Wow, that's really good. So you mentioned before we started, you run other programs at school.
Yes, so we run, we also have school programs, so it's a bit of a revenue raiser for us. We go into different schools and run some wheelchair basketball sessions. They're led by someone who has lived experience with a physical disability, and you tell the story. A lot of the time they tell their story about if they were born with their disability, if they acquired their disability, and a lot of stuff about that. And then we get everyone in chairs and play some wheelchair basketball. Wheelchair basketball is the easiest sport for someone to pick up. There's very slight variations in the rules, being that you can bounce the ball for every 2 pushes of the chair, but other than that the rules are extremely similar. The hoop is the same height, the 3-point line's the same, so it's really easy for people to pick up. And yeah, so schools and organisations, so different companies have that option as well to have we call it a wheel life, a wheel life session. So comes in and teaches you how to play some wheelchair basketball, and then you really get the opportunity to try it out and try the sport out.
And any school can sign up for that program?
So there's fees associated with it.
Yeah.
So it does cost money to get us out and to do it,
Of course.
and run the program. But yeah, any school within WA can reach out and see what we can do for them.
So you take the equipment to school.
Yep.
Where it's a mainstream school. It's not an educational support and kids that are able-bodied can try?
Yeah, so able-bodied kids will jump in the chairs. We bring all the chairs. It has to be on a basketball court. Because you can't, the chairs are really hard to push on grass. So on a basketball court, any school that wants to participate, we find it's really amazing when one of our members is at the school. So quite often schools who have kids who are members of ours will get us out to participate, because quite often people with a physical disability, especially in a wheelchair, aren't able to participate in regular PE classes at school. So yeah, really having the Wheel Life program lets members shine and really have a ball.
Absolutely, it's great, and just allows their peers to play with them. Just to experience it. I think it's great. I wish all schools would jump on board with that.
Because then, if for children who are on wheelchairs, you have to look at your peers up, and that it's one of the things that must affect mental health for children on wheelchairs. So having the opportunity to play with your friends at the same level, not only for the person that has this disability, but also for the other kids that are able to run and do, all this stuff, to see the perspective of their friends, I think is really good. I think we should promote that a little bit more, because it's an amazing opportunity for everyone to learn.
Yeah.
So we got how they can contact you, or how we went through their website, but if they want to go and see before they jumping in to become a member, what times in?
Yeah, so it really depends on what sports you want to engage in, and what's of interest to you. So you can always give us a call, and we can have a meeting with you, talk about it all, become a member if it's of interest, have a go in the chair during that meeting if basketball's of interest or another sport's of interest, or you can come down on a Monday night to State League. So it's between 7 and 9 p.m. on a Monday night at Mirrabooka. You come down and watch some wheelchair basketball in action. And it's a really social competition. It's really, really good to watch. I really enjoy going and watching. So.
I think I'd like to go down just to watch it, to see.
Exactly. Yeah. So we're going to have all that information in here. So how to contact you, the website, and some information that is going to be linked in the comments, so people can actually get in contact with you and have a look at the website and see, how they can go and watch, become a member, or try it.
Yeah, that sounds great. Thank you for that.
So, because we have referred people or recommend people to go and rebound, and the experience have been really, really good. Yeah. So, is there anything else that? I've got a question. How is Rebound finance? So you have.
So we're lucky. We have lots of supporters. So a lot of it's through donations. A lot of it's through the Wheel Life program that we talked about. And then we get great support from Telethon, Department of Local Government, and Healthway and Act Belong Commit. So we get lots of support from different organisations and a lot of partners that really help us to do what we do. Because obviously we do like to keep the costing as low as we can.
Yeah.
And what if we've got participants in WA outside of Perth? Do you only do it in north and south of the river? You don't do you have anything in Bunbury or anywhere regional?
So we're trying to run a bit of a program. There's an organisation down south that do some wheelchair sports, so we work with them a little bit. If we could do all of WA, we would. Unfortunately, it's not physically possible to have people everywhere. but we do as much as we can. We're trying to run a program further down south, and then we're also trying to run a program inland with the support of the Department of Local Government. But yeah, so we're mainly focused within the metro area, going down to about REBOUND WA, and then a little bit up north. We have ran wheel lights further north and inland, but yeah, much more metro focused, unfortunately.
And then the hope would be, as you grow and get more funding, to actually expand.
Yeah, we'd love to be able to do everything, and set up help different organisations to set up in these different remote areas. But yeah, really focused on getting a program here, working here.
Yeah. So you mentioned that you have volunteers.
Yes.
So if someone wants or is interested in become a volunteer.
So if you're interested in volunteering, then the best thing I'd do is recommend talking to us. Just giving us a call, saying you're interested in volunteering. We have a volunteer coordinator who works at Rebound, and she'd be in touch with you and just find out what you're interested in, how you'd want to volunteer, in what capacity and stuff like that, and really find the best suit for you.
All right. So they don't need to have something related to wheelchair sport as such, but anything.
No, yeah. So anyone who wants to volunteer will go through a bit of a process to make sure you're the right fit and everything, and quite often needs a working with children's card and stuff like that. But yeah, so there's no need to have a degree in anything or to volunteer with us or to have lived experience with a physical disability to volunteer with us. If anyone would be interested in volunteering, get in touch and we'll see what we can do.
Do you guys run any event throughout the year?
So we have probably 3 major events that we run. The big major event is called the Parasport Festival. So that's run around March of every year. I think it's at the start of the year, and we get set up in the city, and we have a big showcase where so many different sports come and are part of it, and you have lots of different information. It's basically everything REBOUND WA do as an organisation in one place at one time. And that's a really cool event, and just gets lots of eyes. And then we run an event also in the city for International Day of People with a Disability. So this year it's the 3rd of December, in the city, where we tend to have wheelchair basketball going on at Brookfield Place is where we have been the last few years, and it gets different corporations, corporates and businesses involved and trying out some wheelchair sports, and yeah, really just expanding on what REBOUND WA do. And then the Telethon Family Festival is such a massive event for us. So Telethon Weekend here in Perth is just something to behold. It's really amazing, and we're lucky to be a big part of that. So we're on the basketball courts just outside, and we'll have an exhibition game of our Whiz Kids program. So some really young kids from the age of 5 up, playing against the Telethon All-Stars team. So quite often some celebrities and some people who are down there supporting Telethon will hop in the chairs and play against the kids. And then we have come and tries and stuff at the time. And yeah, really get involved with the Telethon Family Festival and find out what REBOUND do.
That's great. Yeah, so we were talking about halftime or places where kids with physical disability can interact with sports stars, celebrities or whatever. So have REBOUND been part of halftime games? Let's say when Wildcats play here, some kids go in the halftime and run around, play with balls, but I haven't seen personally children with disabilities or in wheelchair. Honestly.
Yeah, so it's more of a we have done in the past with the Wildcats, had a bit of a connection there. Basketball WA run the state program for wheelchair basketball as well, so it's more a Basketball WA initiative to have that kind of connection with the Wildcats, and our Perth team is called the Wheelcats. So the Perth Wheelcats have just finished their season, and quite often there is a bit of a connection between the Wildcats and the Wheelcats. But yeah, it's definitely something we'll explore in the future, is building a connection between these different sporting organisations and having a bit more of a showcase, the way to put it, during a half-time and stuff. I know the AFL have started to do it, with All Abilities AFL. So wheelchair AFL is a really growing sport, and the AFL have showcased that. Again, it's tough to do in chairs on the grass.
Exactly, that's what I'm thinking.
But there's different ways that they have done it, and it's been really great to see.
That's good, because you mentioned that it's difficult for the wheelchairs to run on the grass. That wasn't an option, but it's good just to hear that it is. So with the Paralympics coming up in a couple of weeks, what is the involvement, or what does Rebound does to make sure that everyone watches the Olympics, support the Paralympics? Because we've been watching the Olympics, but I think Paralympics have less audience. Correct me if I'm mistaken.
No, yeah, there's definitely less viewers and less eyes on the Paralympics. But I like to think of it like a concert. You never start off with the main event. The main event's always at the end. So the Paralympics is the main event of the whole time. Paralympics is called the Paralympics from the Greek word para. So it means to run alongside. There is a common misconception, extremely common misconception, that it's paraplegic Olympics. But it's actually from the Greek word para, like parallel. So it runs alongside the Olympics. But what Rebound do during the Paralympics is we just want to try and get a message out to people, that so many people who are watching the Paralympics will look at it and go, how can I do that? How can I be a part of it and see these sporting stars doing amazing things and performing so well, and then they can really identify with those people and go, how can I engage in that sport? So yeah, we really want to try and get our name out and let people know, if you want to engage in sport and you have the physical disabilities, you get in touch with Rebound. We have 10 members of ours who are going to the Paralympics.
To participate? Okay, in what sport?
So we have 4 members in the wheelchair basketball team.
Okay.
So only the men qualified for this Paralympics, so the rollers. So we have 4 members in that team. We have 1 member in the wheelchair rugby team. We have a few people going for athletics. We have someone going for parachuting. And we have someone going for para weightlifting.
Okay.
So powerlifting.
Fantastic. All right.
So many different sports.
Yeah.
But we also have such a rich history with the Paralympic Games. One of the key people who were involved in starting the Paralympic movement in Australia, back when it was the Stoke Mandeville Games, was Sir George Bedbrook. He ran the spinal program out at Fiona Stanley. And he formed a team. Basically, the first Paralympic Games in 1960 was made up of half the team was made up of West Australians who went over and competed, and he was a big part in why that was possible. So we used to be called Wheelchair Sports WA, and we've had a really rich history of members, from the likes of Frank Ponta, who was a really, really large part, Louise Sauvage, who won so many different medals. Priya Cooper, Elizabeth Edmondson, all of these people who have won so many different medals at the Paralympics and done so well, really got into sport back in those early days and have been such big parts of REBOUND WA going forwards. So we've got a really rich history with the games and what happens during the games. Encourage as many people to watch the games as possible, and if you're in that position where you look at it and go, wow, how can I be a part of this? Get in touch with us and we'll be able to help you, set you on the way.
And you may end up on an Olympic team.
Yeah.
You never know what hidden talent you've got there.
Exactly. So, any final questions, Nikki?
I don't think so. I think we've
covered a lot of things. It's anything else that we have left?
Not that I can think of off the top of my
head. So thank you so much, Sam, for coming and share all this information with us. It's actually really, really valuable information to have, for us as providers, so we can give children and people with physical disabilities and disability the opportunity to participate in sport. So yes, we're going to have all the contact details on the screen. We're going to be, advocating for people to go there and have a look at their website and watch the Paralympics, because, WA is big in there. So, yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you. That was really informative. Really great.
Thank you.
Thanks
Thank
for
you
coming
for having
along.
me on.
That's it. No problems. All right. See you, everyone. Hope
Bye.
you enjoy. Bye.